Hello friends, welcome to your week ahead reading with me, Intuitive Rene. For those of you who are returning to this video or returning to my channel, welcome. It's awesome to have you back here. And for those of you who are watching this particular type of video for the first time, welcome. So in the week ahead video, we cover quite a lot of information, and to help you navigate it, I do have chapters and different sections mapped out for you just over here. At the moment, you'll see it'll have the word intro just over there somewhere. If you click on that, it'll open up all the chapters on the side here for you to help you navigate the reading. We start the reading off looking at a theme for the week ahead, and in this particular video we're looking at the week of the 12th to the, gosh, what is it, the 18th? 12th to the 18th of June. I hope I've got that right. 12th to the 18th of June 2022. So we start off doing a theme for the week ahead, and that's using the cards that I have on the table now. Then we're going into your animal reading. So we're going to see what animal energy you can work with for the week ahead. We then do a crystal reading to see a crystal that would be good for you to use or to work with for the week ahead. And then we get into the elemental readings. Elemental readings is where I offer a reading for every sign of the zodiac, but I group them into elemental readings. So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius will fall under fire. Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn fall under earth. I'm questioning myself today. And Gemini, Libra, Aquarius will fall under the sign of air. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces will fall under the sign of water, the element of water. So I do, because we're looking at such a short time frame, it's literally just 7 days, so that's why I categorize them into the elements, so that you at least all do get something personal and something specific to you. And once we've done the elemental readings, we move into our Q&A with Spirit, where I have a deck of question cards. We draw a card and then we look at getting an answer from Spirit around that particular question. And then after all of that, there is more. For my motivated and activated YouTube channel members, they get to stay on for an extended bonus reading, which differs each week, changes each week. Sometimes it's an extension of the Q&A, and sometimes it's something completely different that I'm guided to give them from Spirit. So that's what this reading covers. That's what this particular video covers. There is a lot, and I'm hoping that there is something that you will be interested in and that you will enjoy. And if you do enjoy the video, please do consider giving it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already done, click that subscribe button. I do release a lot of awesome content to keep you motivated, inspired, and enthusiastic about life, and I would love to have you join the family. All right, friends, let's get straight into it. We're looking at the theme for the week of the, I need to see if I get it right, the 12th to the 18th of June 2022. So we're doing our word of the year oracle. So from each of the orange or the green piles, I take a single card, and each has a single word on it, which will give us combined a theme for the week ahead. So let's have a look and see what we want this week. Okay, I'm looking for a card that looks good. Taking that one, put the orange cards out of the way. Let's do the same with the green. Give them a bit of a shuffle. We're looking at a theme for the week ahead. Apparently surrender wants to come through. So we have got authentic surrender. I like that. Authentic surrender. So what comes to me when I say the words, just let me get them in the right place. What comes to me when I say the words is about, not just going through the motions because it's what you're told to, but to actually feel it, to actually experience it, to actually go through the experience on an authentic, legitimate way. So when we talk about surrender, I want to unpack that word for a little bit. When we talk about surrender, what we're referencing is not resisting or trying to manage or trying to control a situation, but rather allowing the situation, allowing your life to unfold and to develop in its own way. We all tend to try and handle life, okay? We all tend to try and manage life, to try and control it, and to ensure that we get the best out of it. But the truth of the matter is we shouldn't be doing that. The truth of the matter is we need to set our goals. We need to make sure that our actions are in line with those goals and that they will ultimately lead us there. And then we need to just go. We need to just, carry it out. execute the actions, if I can put it that way. And if a problem happens or an obstacle occurs or a challenge comes up, surrender to it, go with it, okay? Instead of trying to prevent it, resist it, or stop it, because sometimes those obstacles have been placed in our way, challenges and obstacles have been placed in our way to maybe lead us a different path for a different reason, for a different outcome, but one that spirit feel is better suited to us. But when we say, no, 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 I need to get there and I want to do a straight road. I don't want to do that. I want to do a straight road to get from A to B. And spirit know that if you go this way, you're going to encounter somebody, another situation, another circumstance that actually could benefit you later. So by giving you that deviation or by giving you that alternate route, you know, you're going to achieve something so much better or so much more. You're still going to arrive at the same destination, but we need to go that route because it's in our best interest. But when we resist and we try and stay there, so what we're doing is we have spirit pulling us this way and we try and go back, and then spirit, what we're doing is we're exhausting ourselves. We are killing ourselves. We are, you know, really making our situation so much more difficult and so much more challenging. So authentic surrender is basically saying trust, going with the flow, and believing that the universe has something better in store for you, and just allowing that to be. So we often say the words, okay, that I'm just going with the flow, that I'm just going to take whatever comes up and I'm just going to hope and trust that it's going to be okay. We often say those words, but how authentic is it? Do we truly believe it? Do our actions truly talk to that? Do our actions really depict that we are truly surrendering? You know, whenever the word surrender comes up, I always imagine and think about advice that's given to people who are doing river rafting, as an example. They say that if you find yourself, you know, caught in, you know, in the water, if you find yourself stuck, trapped, or uncertain, turn onto your back, aim your feet down, you know, downstream, and just go with the flow of the water until such time as it levels out, settles down, and you can sort yourself out. When you try and resist and swim to the edge, that's when you find you exhaust yourself, you run out of energy, and you get pulled under. So authentic surrender is something that's important for each one of us for the week ahead. The oracle deck that I have for us this week is the beautiful Roots and Wings Oracle. So I'm going to draw a single card from this deck as well, which is going to connect with, contribute to, and tie in, hopefully, to authentic surrender. So Roots and Wings Oracle, let's have a shuffle and see what card wants to come through to contribute to our message, to our authentic surrender for the week ahead. Okay, so remember, this is the week of the 12th to the 18th, and that's Renee's bad shuffling. You all know how bad I am. Okay, happy with that shuffle, I think. Let's cut the deck there and taking a card off the top. And we have intuition. Very, very nice. So we have a bear, and it's a huge, big, bold, beautiful bear. And notice the bear is walking towards us, but looking off to the side. The key phrase is intuition. And what that basically is saying to us, I'm just wondering where to put it. I think our bear can stay there. So he's looking at our spread and our cards today. Intuition is basically saying that you know when you're not being authentic or when you are being authentic. Intuition is telling you that we understand this whole concept of surrender, and we may be saying, yes, we're ready for it, we're prepared to do it, and we want to do it. But it's your intuition that's going to guide you whether you are being authentic or whether, you know, you're fooling yourself. Okay, so let your intuition be your guide in ensuring that you are really and truly going with the flow this week with regards to authentic surrender. All right, next we are going to move on to our animal reading for the week ahead. And I feel like I really hope bear comes through. Seeing as we already have the bear shown, I really hope the bear comes through. This week I am working with the Spirit Animal Oracle by Colette Baron Reid. I am in the process of making my own animal deck, but gosh, it's taking a bit longer than I expected. So as I'm shuffling this animal deck, just to explain to you the intention that I set with doing the animal reading, this is not about animal totems, it's not about animal spirit guides, although if you want to take it in that way, you absolutely can. But basically what I'm doing when I'm taking an animal for the week ahead, it's basically helping us humans connect with the animal kingdom. It's helping us understand the way the animals work and how we can include, adopt, or adapt that behavior or those mindsets or those characteristics into our day-to-day existence. So an animal energy for the week is like if you're facing situations and circumstances and you feel like, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do, you can think about the animal for the week and say, okay, so how would that animal handle it? What is that animal's speciality, or how does that animal react and respond? If you want to draw on and every single day, learn something about the animal, draw the animal into yourself and just allow that animal to guide you through the day, through the week, then that's what it's there for. And I find I love working with animal energy, and I just find when I do this, for a period of a week, it really does just help me to expand my own awareness, expand my own consciousness, and expand my own understanding about myself and other people and the way we all react and respond to each other. So I have drawn a card. Let's have a look and see what animal energy do we have for the week ahead. Okay, we have got card 52, which is the scarab beetle spirit, and it says magic works through you. Isn't it gorgeous? The artwork in this particular deck is stunning, and of course this particular scarab beetle is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I love, I can get quite lost in this imagery because there seems to be quite a lot there. So scarab beetle spirit is saying that magic works through you. Just to take a little bit of information from the guidebook around scarab beetle, because personally I'm not all that familiar with the scarab beetle's information. So just to read from the guidebook for a second, it says, in ancient Egypt, the scarab beetle was revered for the creative magic of scarab beetle spirit. Spirit reminds us that we can bring forth something extraordinary, seemingly out of thin air. Hence the intuition. I like that. Whenever you let your creativity flow through you, scarab beetle spirit reminds you that spirit has given you the gift of infinite potential. I'm seeing where this is going. You have an ally as you fashion something new or repurpose the old, for spirit co-creates with you. That's the intuition. Channeling energy through you so that you feel replenished and revitalized as you make magic with what is at hand. So authentic surrender is surrendering to what's at hand, using what's at hand instead of trying to change, control, or manipulate that which you have. So now I understand exactly why we have the scarab beetle spirit coming through with the energy of intuition and authentic surrender. Okay, I think that's awesome. Right. So thank you, Scarab Beetle, for working with us for the week ahead. I also want to say to you, just, thinking about a beetle per se, they have quite a hard, crusty exterior, don't they? They're exoskeleton, which protects them and keeps them safe because they are so little, small, and vulnerable underneath that. And again, we need to understand that that's who we are. We all put on these tough exteriors. We all put on this like, I'm fine, I don't need help. But if we if we surrender authentically, we're acknowledging our vulnerability. We're acknowledging that sometimes we need support and help, but it's also about recognizing that we just need to go with the flow. We just need to understand that our intuition is working, spirit are working with us, and through that, they're going to guide us and take us wherever it is that we need to be. Loving, absolutely loving that. All right. We are now going to go on to our crystal cards. Okay, so this is my pack of 100 crystal cards. And again, the intention, as I shuffle the crystal cards, the intention of these cards is to allow crystal energy to work with us. Now, crystal energy obviously always works best if you have it in person, all right? If you actually have a crystal, hold the crystal, work with the crystal, allow the energies of the crystal to work with you. But I also believe that we can work with crystal energy with crystals that we don't own, that we don't physically have in our possession. So what we're doing here with this is we're going to draw a crystal card that we can work with for the week ahead. So you can either get yourself an image of the crystal that you can work with. You can screenshot the crystal that comes up. If you do have a piece, carry it around with you. Keep it on your person. Work with it every day in your meditation, in your quiet time. and allow the energy of the crystal to work with you. I believe, though, if you think about the crystal, so if you ponder the crystal, if you meditate on the name of it, the picture of it, you have the same effects. You can have the same effects. If you question and doubt that ability, it won't work for you. But if you believe, and if you focus on it and you set the intention, the properties of the particular crystal can and will still work with you. You must understand crystals come from the earth. Whenever you are standing on the earth, you are connected to all crystal energy that is found in the earth. So if you imagine that crystal energy coming up through the earth into the soles of your feet and through your whole body, you can have access to that crystal even though you don't actually have it in your hand. So I have shuffled, and I am now going to stop there and take this card off the top if it will let me. Thank you. Right, let's have a look and see what crystal energy we have for the week ahead. And just as a reminder, the week of the 12th to the 18th of June 2022. We have got sunstone. Sunstone is a beautiful, sunstone looks like it's got glitter in it. It really is stunning. So sunstone radiates a warm, light energy, much like the sun does. It can uplift the spirit and bring joy to the heart, my favorite word. An excellent stone for bringing light into any situation and unveiling what was once hidden. It encourages one to be confident and optimistic. Its element is air and fire, and the chakras that it deals with is our sacral and our solar plexus. Affirmation that you can use with the sunstone crystal is, I am ready to see the light in any situation. So let's look at how sunstone ties in with everything that we have already got here. So sunstone is saying it radiates a warm light energy, much like the sun does. It uplifts the spirit and brings joy to the heart. If you do not have authentic surrender, if you do not focus on that, if you do not allow yourself, you're never going to have joy in the heart. You're never going to, so it says it's an excellent stone for bringing light into any situation. Authentic surrender is the best way to shed light on a situation. We've got the scarab beetle spirit, which talks about magic working through you, but it's also saying that you have to surrender to spirit's ways, to spirit's words, to spirit's actions in order to have that magic working through you. We have to trust our intuition. We have to trust our energy work. We have to trust the crystal energy working with us in order to achieve everything that we need to. It says as well, encourages one to be confident and optimistic. Again, you cannot be confident and optimistic in yourself and your circumstance if you are not authentic and surrender to whatever it is that you're going through at the moment. So friends, I am truly loving where this whole thing is going for this week. Right. What is next? I suddenly had a moment. Next we have is our elemental readings. And I have quite a few decks in front of me because I didn't actually know what deck I wanted to work with. So I think I'm going to do this one. All right, so this deck lives in a little crocheted bag. It hangs on the shelf behind me. So some of you may have recognized the bag because I have shown it before, and it is a beautiful, beautiful deck. This is what the back of the cards look like. So this is the Tarot of the Enchanted Forest, the Forest of I need to get the right words. Let's try that again. It's the Forest of Enchantment Tarot. So it is a beautiful deck. It is, the imagery and the artwork is just absolutely gorgeous. I don't use this deck often enough, so definitely looking forward to using it today. So friends, this is now, as I said, is the elemental readings that we're going to do now, and just as a reminder, I do 4 separate readings looking at energy for the next 7 days for each sign of the zodiac. So I do elemental readings for fire, earth, air, and water, and each zodiac sign fits into one of those elemental elements. And so if you are Virgo, for example, you would need to watch or listen to the earth reading because that is the one that is appropriate for Virgo. So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius fall under fire. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn fall under earth. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius fall under air. And Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces fall under the element of water. So when you know which element is yours, you can jump straight ahead to that section. And we're just going to do a couple of cards as an indication of the energy for the week ahead. Right, so we're going to go straight into looking at the fire signs. So I'm going to give the cards a shuffle. Fire signs, the Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, welcome. Let's have a look and see what the week ahead has in store for you. We're looking at the week of the 12th to the 18th of June 2022. Just giving the cards a little bit of a shuffle. I'm happy with that. Okay, going to draw 3 cards this week. Fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sag. We have got the Sun. We have got the 4 of Boons, and we have got the 8 of Challenges, and Rene is skew. Let me straighten up. Let me straighten up. All right. So when we look at the Sun card is, it's the best card in the tarot. Let me just start off by putting it that way. Just like we were talking about Sunstone and we were talking about shedding light, and I've got all the sunlight coming through my table here as well. The Sun card is about illuminating happiness and joy. It is about, shedding light on all of that which is important and significant in our life. It's about realizing the happiness, success, the joy, and the opportunities that we have for ourselves as well, which is lovely, fire signs, because it means that if you can stick to authentic surrender, and if you can listen to your intuition and allow spirit to drive a little bit of magic through you, it'll be amazing at how happy and successful and how accomplished you can be for the week ahead. Now, it's interesting that we start off with the sunlight card and then we're followed by 2 not so fabulous cards. Okay, the 4 of Boons, and just to bring it closer so that you can see the artwork, you can see how grumpy everybody is, including the little person hiding under the table. Okay, everybody is grumpy. We've got pies happening, and everybody's sort of like, mine, very protective, mine, stay away, it's mine. This little person under the table has even stolen a pie and sitting and eating it all by themselves, not sharing. So we've got these trolls, all right? And each of the trolls, they're in a competition with each other, and each one's trying to outdo the other one. Each one's trying to show the other one up. And if they worked together, can you imagine how much more they would achieve and how much more they would accomplish, instead of this rivalry kind of competition that's taking place between them? And that's exactly the message of the card is, sometimes in life, yes, you do have to protect that which is yours. That which is important and significant in your life. But sometimes it's also necessary to just surrender to the situation and put our prides in our pocket, and instead of always competing and always trying to, keep separation, but to actually just, say, hey, can I taste yours? Here, you taste mine, let me taste yours, and let's swap recipes, let's work together, as opposed to always trying to. And fire signs, this is spirit saying that we acknowledge that all you want is happiness, that all you want is for everybody to get along and everybody to be okay. But it's like you're waiting for that person to make the first move, and they're waiting for you to make the first move, and we're sort of at an impasse. And as long as we are in this space, the situation's just going to get worse and worse and worse. And I say that because of our next card. So fire signs, our next card we have is the 8 of Challenges. And if we look at this 8 of Challenges, I mean, you can just see how stressed she is. I mean, we have got thorn bushes sort of, completely enveloping her. And, you can see it's snaring her fabric, it's tearing her dress. Everything's in tatters and ruins, and she doesn't know which way's up. So she's now just standing there, putting her hands over her face going, I just can't do this anymore. All right, I just can't do this anymore. And what we have to understand with the 8 of Challenges, fire signs, is that often we perceive the situation to be worse than it actually is. When one thing goes wrong, we almost expect and imagine more, because what are we doing? Remember my story about authentic surrender and about being in a river and sort of losing yourself? What she's doing is she's trying to swim to shore. She's trying to swim against the current. She's trying to swim against the flow to save herself. And the more she does that, the more ensnared she gets. What she should do is she should just surrender to the situation. And if she surrenders to the situation, happiness and joy is going to be there for her. So fire signs, message for you this week: don't fight, don't resist, don't don't try and prove yourself over and above everybody else. It's like, let's just stop the fighting, let's just stop the resistance, let's surrender to the situation, let's trust that it's going to work out for us perfectly, and it will. All right, so no bullying tactics this week, no trying to prove your independence, no trying to be the strong one. And I know that's difficult, fire signs, I know it's difficult, but honestly, the more you try, the more you fight it, the worse off it's going to be for you. Just surrender to the situation, make friends with the enemy, and you will see the truth, and everything will be exactly as it needs to be. Fire signs, lots of love and blessings to you. I do hope that it's a good week for each of you. All right, what is the glare situation like today? Oh, it's terrible. Right, let's try putting them down there. Okay. We are now going to move into our earth signs. So earth signs being Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, earth signs for the week of the 12th to the 18th of June 2022. Let's just give the cards a little bit of a shuffle, making sure that we're setting the intention. Earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Cutting the deck. Card number 1, we have the Weaver of Challenges. Card number 2, we have the Wise Woman. And card number 3, oh, the Weaver of Spells. Oh, this is very, very interesting indeed. So we've got 2 Weaver energies. So Earth signs, Weaver energy is Queen energy. So it's the Queen of the suit. So you've got the 2 queens, and in the middle here we have got the Wise Woman, and the Wise Woman is the High Priestess. So we've got a lot of very powerful and very strong feminine energy coming through. So immediately, earth signs, even before I've looked at the suits and looked at the details of the cards, immediately this is talking to you about nurturing, taking care of, being supportive, being in a supportive role to other people, and being connected to your intuition. So we've got the Weaver of Challenges as our first one, and Challenges is the suit of swords. Now you can see that she's, I'm going to call her the Ice Queen. Okay, you can see that she's in an Iceland. We've got snow, we've got white, we've got everything, and then she is this incredibly powerful woman. I mean, just look at that focused attention on her face. She is amazing. But you know what? She takes no nonsense. She's not afraid to voice herself, to express herself, to say what needs to be said. She's the kind of person who will shout off with his head, okay, and actually mean it, because she understands that in the bigger scheme of things, that is what everybody needs, and that would be in everybody's best interests if that were to happen. So she's the person who's not afraid to get things done, regardless of who is negatively impacted. She doesn't allow her emotions to factor her decisions. Everything's based on facts, logic, and for the greater good of all. So she brings an interesting kind of a message for the week ahead. Earth signs, she's telling you that sometimes you do have to speak out. Sometimes you do have to speak against other people, and you know, you will know intuition. When we have this wise woman, look at her, she is gorgeous, and she's divining, she's throwing the bones, she's throwing the stones. You can see the magic that's dropping, because she knows that she has all the answers within her. She knows that she has to learn to trust her own intuition, trust her own self, even if it means asking the tough questions, asking the hard questions. But she knows that if you don't seek, you shall not find. The other thing I want you to notice is behind her we've got a light path, and we have a dark path. Can you see that? And even this side of the tree looks light, and that side of the tree looks quite dark. So if I cover that half, it looks quite dark, and immediately there you can see it's quite light. And she is smack bang in the middle of the light and the dark path, and she's now trying to choose which way are we going to go, what are we going to do, what is the right way to handle this. Now the confirmation that I'm getting from our wise woman attached to our Queen of Challenges, our Queen of Swords, is no emotion. She's trusting and believing and finding answers within herself. She's not referring to anybody else. She's not asking anybody else. She is divining from within herself the answers to the tough questions. She is also trusting logic and facts to get to the truth. So earth signs, this is spirit saying to you, no emotion comes into play here. The decisions, the choices, the actions that you need to. We need to be authentic. We need to trust our intuition, and we need to allow spirit to work with us as we shed light on the situation. Don't rely on anybody else's opinions. Don't rely on anybody else's advice and guidance. Trust in you. Carry it through, even if you have to be the nasty, tough person. And finally, we have quite a different weaver here, and she's the weaver of spells. Spells is the suit of wands in traditional tarot, and I mean, you can see she's dancing. You can see all the magic that she has around her, and you know it's above her, it's below her, it's around her, it's everywhere, and she is so in the moment. You can see that she's not even aware that somebody's drawn her or taken a photo of her. She's just so captivated by the energy around her, and she's using it to her advantage. She's dancing and performing and doing everything exactly as she needs to do, and she is loving it. And I think that's again the message that's coming through for all earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. You may have to do something tough this week. You may have to be Queen of Ice, okay? You may have to put somebody in their place. You may have to respond in a fairly harsh way to somebody. Don't worry about who's watching and how people may react. Do what you need to do, and do it to your best advantage. Do it to the best of your abilities. And if you do that, if you are authentically surrendering to the situation, you will absolutely have a positive outcome. But you need to not concern yourself with the opinions of others. Okay, that's the advice for you for the week ahead. Don't concern yourself with the opinions of others. Do what is right for you, and everything will be okay. Authentically surrender to the situation. Earth signs, lots of love and blessings to you. I hope that helps you for the week ahead, and I hope it gives you the guidance that you need, whatever it may be. All right. Air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Let's have a look and see what's in store for you. What is the energy of your week ahead? And we're looking at the week of the 12th to the 18th of June 2022 for air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Let's have a look and see. Okay, happy with that shuffle. Cutting the deck. Card number 1 for air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. We have got the 7 of Visions. Second card is the Enchanter, and our third card is the 9 of Visions. So we've got 2 visions, 2 visions surrounded all on either side of the Enchanter. So the suit of Visions is the suit of Cups in traditional tarot. Cups is about emotions. So it immediately tells me, air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, that you are going to have an emotional week, which is probably why you've got authentic surrender as the theme, because it's telling you that you need to surrender to the emotions. Don't try and resist them. Don't try and bag them. Don't try and hold them back. Just surrender to it. If we look at our 7 of Visions, we're looking into this pool of water, and you can see that we have got 7 different images depicted, 7 different things that are depicted. And as you look, the more you look, the more you see. So from a harp to, I think that's called a death flower, to a woman, to a home, to a crown, to a, I'm not quite sure actually what that is. Maybe it's looks like leaves of some kind, and obviously a wild boar as well. So it's about the choices and the options that you have. And sometimes when we look and see that we have 7, and they're so very different, 7 very different choices and options, that in itself can be quite overwhelming. And that overwhelm is the emotion that this card refers to. So air signs, it looks like you're going to have an emotionally overwhelming week, because there's too many things, there's too many choices and decisions, and we're afraid of what happens if I make the wrong decision? What happens if I choose the harp when actually I should choose the crown, or I should choose the ball, or I. So it gets quite overwhelming, and we need to make sure that we don't allow ourselves to get overwhelmed. We need to authentically surrender to the situation and make sure that you just trust your intuition. Remember, that was also our theme for the week, is intuition. Trust your intuition and choose something. When the 7 of Visions comes up, especially around choices. It's telling you that not making a choice is the wrong choice. So if you are worried about making the wrong choice, it's because you're not making a choice. So pick something. When you're presented with opportunities, options, and choices this week, trust your intuition, trust your gut, and just go with it. Surrender to the moment, surrender to the situation, and choose. Because air signs, we have the enchanter here, and isn't he just so enchanting? This is, in traditional tarot, is the card of the magician, and he is the creator. He is the one who can manifest. He is the one who works with energy. He works with magic to create and to manifest anything that he desires. You can see he's got all his books and all his paraphernalia all around him. So he has everything that he needs. All he has to do is get the recipe right of how much of each thing, from keys to feathers to bones to, whatever it may be. And it's about realizing that you can create and manifest anything that your heart desires, as long as you make the choices and the decisions that you need to make. So don't overthink anything, and don't practice too much either. Just make the decisions, go for it, and trust your intuition, surrender to the situation, and know that it'll be exactly as it needs to be. Our third card for you, air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, is the Nine of Visions. And if you look at this, it looks like we are inside a well and somebody is throwing a coin into the well. It is a wishing well, okay? So it's about casting your wishes. It's about, making that wish. And you know what, if you've ever done that, if you've ever had the pleasure of, going to a body of water, taking a coin, making a wish and throwing it in, you immediately at that point, you surrender to the wish. You surrender to the magic of how that wish is going to manifest. And you just know that at some point in the future, it's going to happen. And we almost forget about it. And we know that you're not allowed to talk about your wishes, okay? Because you know that if you speak it out loud, it's not going to come true. It's not going to happen. So air signs, for you this week, it looks like this is a week to definitely get some plans in motion, to make your choices, make your decisions, cast your wishes, and know that you are ready. I think that's the big thing, is that you are ready. A lot of people say, when I have this, or when this has happened, then I can. Only when I have achieved this, only when I have this, only when I get the increase, and only when this happens. And, and your win is now. You need to surrender to that. You need to trust. You need to let the magic work through you. But air signs, the time is now. Surrender to it. Allow it. Stop waiting for signs. This is your sign. It's time to kick it off. It's time to set that coin into the well, make your wish, and then release it. Surrender to it, release it, and let the universe take care of it and bring you whatever it is that you need at the right time that you need it. Awesome. Lots of love and blessings, air signs. That's an exciting week for you. Exciting, exciting, exciting. Okay. And we are now going to move on to our water signs. So water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, for the week ahead. Let's have a look and see, what is the energy around you? What are you dealing with? What do you need to know? And what is the message that Spirit has for you for the week ahead? And this is the week of the 12th to the 18th of June, 2022. Water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Card number 1 for you guys, we have got the 9 of Challenges. Card number 2 is the 5 of Spells. And card number 3 is the 9 of Boons. So quite interesting, 2 nines, okay? So when we look at the numerology of the number 9, 9 is the last of the single digits. 9 is the end of the single digits, which means attainment, completion, coming full circle. Because after 9, we have 10, which is a 1 and a 0, which brings us back to the 1. So 9 is the ending. It's the achievement, the accomplishment. It is the finality of the situation. So water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Let's have a look at particular details for the week ahead. Now, the first card we have is the 9 of Challenges. Challenges in traditional tarot is the suit of swords. Now, we have got a forest scene. It is nighttime, and if you've ever been in the forest at night, trees trees get weird faces, trees get scary, you know, those shadows. Our imagination takes us into strange places, and we imagine that the trees are alive, that the trees are evil, and that the trees are coming to get us. So here we are hiding in a little hole that we have found, and we're keeping perfectly still. We're not even breathing, you know. We're hoping that this evil monster, this tree, is going to walk past and not see us. The Nine of Challenges is the card of fear and anxiety. Okay, so I do think, water signs, this is Spirit saying that you are feeling very much like this, feeling like, I just want to escape, I just want to get away, I just want to hide, because I'm feeling quite overwhelmed with everything that's going on around. And I am going to bring in authentic surrender for you guys as well, water signs, you know, recognizing that sometimes you need to just be still. Sometimes you need to just wait for the monster tree to move on past. Sometimes you don't have to do anything. You don't have to be anything. Now, the second card that we have is also a not so pleasant card. And what we've got over here is the Five of Spells. Spells in traditional tarot is the suit of wands. Now, here we have 5 young men, young boys, who are playing with magic, playing with things that maybe they shouldn't be playing with. And they are turning each other into frogs, okay? So we've got this young man who at the moment seems to be fully boy. Here we have a young man who has become completely frog. He's half frog. He's just turned frog, and he's like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this or not. Okay, so it's everybody in different stages of frog. But what's happening here is he's attacking him, he's attacking him, he's attacking him, and he's just sitting there going, you know what, you guys just do your thing, I'm out. Okay, I don't want to play this game anymore, because you know what, I'm the first frog, I'm a complete frog, so I'm just not even going to play with you anymore. So everybody's attacking everybody else, except for him, who's actually decided to pull himself out of the situation. And water signs, that's the message. That is exactly the message here, is that sometimes it's best to withdraw. We've got withdrawing here, we've got withdrawing there. So I do think that is also how you can be authentically surrendered to the situation and to the circumstance, by realizing that sometimes you have no control over what's taking place, and sometimes doing nothing, pulling yourself away, separating yourself from the situation and doing nothing is sometimes the best thing to do. Our third card for water signs is the Nine of Boons, and boons in traditional tarot is the suit of pentacles. Now, it's the suit of abundance. It's the card of abundance. It's the card of having extra. It's the card of having plenty. So I think this is Spirit saying, trust that you have everything that you need. Trust that you have enough, that you can afford to withdraw a little bit, to slow down a little bit, to stop a little bit. Okay, you can afford to do this because you do have sufficient. It's not like you're at a loss. It's not like you're experiencing lack in your life at the moment. Magic works through you, but in order for magic to work through you, you don't necessarily have to do anything. Sometimes the stopping, the withdrawing, the pulling yourself out of the situation is the way that magic will work through you. Trust your intuition on this particular situation, because you certainly do have enough. Whatever enough means for you right this week, you have plenty, you have enough. You don't have to actively participate, actively solve, or actively fix anything, water signs. It's easy, it's simple. You can withdraw and trust that everything will be as it needs to be. All right, so water signs, I hope that is a good reading for you. I hope that helps you for the week ahead. Okie dokie. Putting those cards all there and all looking a bit skewed. Our next part of the reading is when we get into our Q&A with Spirit. So here I have our cue cards, our question cards. And I did ask last week, and I'll ask again this week. I am in the process of expanding this deck and adding some more questions. So if you've got some interesting general questions that you think would be good to add to the list, you're welcome to message me directly or comment below with the question, and yeah, I'll add it to the deck. So we're looking for a question for the week ahead, a question that Spirit feels is something that we need to chat about, something that Spirit feels we all been possibly subconsciously, unconsciously pondering and thinking about, something that we all need to be working through or working with for the week ahead. So what is an interesting question for the week ahead, please, Spirit? Okay. Cutting the deck there and taking a card off the top. Let's have a look and see what is our question for the week. How can I up my game and perform to the best of my ability? What an amazing question. How can I up my game and perform to the best of my ability? I love that question. All right, now to see what deck should we use to answer this. And it's interesting, I never really grab a tarot deck to answer the Q&A until I see the question. So it's almost like I allow the question to sort of guide where we go. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go old school. I'm going to go old school. And I'm going to use this deck. So this is a standard Rider-Waite-Smith. This is the Centennial edition of the Rider-Waite-Smith. So I think it's called the Smith-Waite Tarot deck, but it's the Centennial edition, which means the colors are a little bit muted. The colors are not so bright. I love this deck though. I love the cardstock. I love the way it shuffles. I love the way it feels in my hand, and it reads like a dream. So Centennial Tarot, we're going old school. We're not using any modern versions, although this is a Centennial, fairly modern version. Old images that have been redone. Tell us, Spirit, how can we up our game and perform to the best of our ability? What can we do to up our game, whatever our game is, whatever the game is that we're involved in, whatever the game is that we're interacting and playing in? How can we up our game and perform to the best of our ability? Please, Spirit, how can we up our game and perform to the best of our ability? Happy with that shuffle? Card number 1, Ace of Cups, beautiful. Card number 2, we have the 9 of Pentacles. And card number 3 is the 5 of Pentacles. And I'm going to take one more because there's a space. Nice, the 4 of Wands. Now, before I get into this particular reading, I am also feeling inclined to use another little oracle deck. Now, this is an oracle deck I purchased off Etsy, and it basically takes symbols from the standard tarot, and it makes an oracle out of it. So it is quite interesting. It's quite unusual. It's quite quirky. It's quite fabulous. And I think we'll use this today. The only problem with this particular oracle is that I have laminated it, which means it is so very glossy. So I'm going to try and make sure that I don't gloss you too much, but I want to just draw from this just to add a little bit more, because I like this question this week. How can we up our game and perform to the best of our ability? So let's have a look and see. I don't even remember the name of this particular oracle. Do you know that? I'm going to call it the RWS oracle, the Rider-Waite-Smith oracle, because I don't know actually what it's called. I've had it for quite some time. Right, happy with that. I'm just going to cut that way. And let's see if I bring these guys down. And then I can place the oracle there. Perfect. Happy with that. All right. So, friends, we are looking to answer the question of how can we up our game and perform to the best of our abilities. Ace of Cups, 9 of Pentacles, 5 of Pentacles, 4 of Wands. When I look at these 4 cards, I'm going to cover those in a minute, but when I look at these 4 cards, the message that comes through quite strongly is we need to connect with each other better. You know, understanding your own performance, understanding your game and your performance to your ability, recognizing that, you know, being strong and independent, doing everything by yourself, for yourself, with yourself, isn't always the right thing. Sometimes we need to work with other people. Sometimes we need to connect with other people. And if we can up our relations, thank you. If we can up our relations, if we can connect better with people in our lives, we will be improving our performance, improving our game. and having options, because we learn from each other, we encourage each other, we motivate each other, we lift each other up. So trying to do everything on your own is almost an impossibility. We need to work together. Okay, and you need to let people see you, support you, encourage you, motivate you, and help you on your journey. With the Nine of Pentacles coming through here, Nine of Pentacles is what I like to refer to as the card of opulence. It's the card of excess. It's the card of having too much. And I think this is Spirit saying, how can I up my game and perform to the best of my abilities? By recognizing all that you already have and not trying to get more just from a place of greed, but about a place of recognizing what is enough. When is enough enough? And I think, if you are an athlete who is training for a particular event or a particular a race or function, you know that too much prep, too much training, too much work can actually cause you problems. It's about the right amount of effort, the right amount of attainment, the right amount of accomplishment for the right amount of win. How's that? These two cards are like the complete opposite of each other, because here we have extra, we have excess, and here we have nothing. We have a lack. So we have an abundance and we have a lack. And that's why I sort of interpreted that card the way I did, because these two together are almost canceling each other out. But what they're talking about is that fine line of balance, of enough, not enough, enough, not enough. So it's Spirit saying to you that we need to be very aware. How do you up your game and perform? It's not about excess and it's not about too little. It's that very, very fine line. And you've got to identify for yourself that very fine line. I'm suddenly noticing this particular card. So it's called the Wand, and it's this very fine line. Can you see that? It's this very fine line that we have here. And for every single one of you, your fine line, my fine line, and somebody else's fine line will be different. They will be in different places. They will have different energies. They will have different spaces. And you've got to identify yours. And once you've identified yours, you will be performing to the best of your ability. But when you keep shifting your goalposts, when you keep realigning the line, when you keep moving the line around, you're never going to know when is enough. When is enough? And maybe this is why we need better relations with other people, because they will help us to be accountable and responsible with regards to where our line. And the next card that we have over here is the Four of Wands. We have the Wand, we've got the Four of Wands here. And the Four of Wands is the card of commitment. It's the card of ceremony, if I could use that word. And a ceremony is a dedication. It is a commitment. It is a journey that we undertake with ourselves and with others. So this is Spirit sort of saying to you, the best way to up your game and to perform is to stick it through to the end. Don't quit halfway, even when things are going wrong, even when things seem to be falling apart, even when things are not working out the way you want them to. Don't pack it in. Don't give up too quickly. Don't give up. If you've made that commitment for the long haul, then you will always perform at your best and achieve everything that you need to. So let people hold you accountable, have better relations with people, have better interactions with people, understand that fine line between enough and not enough, and recognize that if you've made a commitment to something, you've got to stick it through. You've got to see it right through to the end. And that's this authentic surrender. That's the Sunstone, which tells you Sunstone radiates a warm, light energy, much like the sun does. It can uplift the spirit and bring joy to the heart. That's this card. An excellent stone for bringing light into any situation and unveiling that which was once hidden. And encourages one to be confident and optimistic is those two cards. Scarab Beetle Spirit saying that magic works through you, which means it's not going to happen unless you put the effort in. This is not going to happen. You're not going to achieve the greatness, the happiness, and the joy that you want if you don't put the effort in. But you've got to allow Spirit to work through you. You've got to allow Spirit to guide you and assist you. And I think, again, that's why we had the Ace of Cups. And we've got the card of intuition over there, the bear coming through with the intuition, saying trust your intuition. Be bold, be strong, be brave, be bear-like in the way that you tackle the things that you want to. And our final little oracle that I picked is the sunrise card. Now, the sunrise, you can see this, I mean, it's a really bad depiction. And if I had the card here that had the sunrise, and you would understand this particular image, but trust me, it looks like a sunrise. The sunrise is saying that with the dawning of a new day is new day for opportunity, new opportunities for growth, for betterment, for improvement. So the sunrise card is basically saying to you, every single day is a chance for a do-over, a chance for a new beginning, a chance to perform to the best of your ability. So if yesterday you didn't do so well, surrender to it. Okay, acknowledge, surrender, and accept. Okay, yesterday I didn't do so well. Today I'm going to put the effort in. Today I'm strong. Today I'm focused. Today I'm dedicated. Today I'm committed to achieving. I know my fine line. Okay, I know my fine line. I know what it is I have to do. A wand is something that we do an action with. Okay, I know what I have to do, and every day is a chance to perform better, to do better at that which you need to do. Love that. So friends, I hope that helps. I hope that guides you. I hope that gives you whatever it is that you need in your life right now. Thank you for being with me. I hope you've enjoyed your reading. I'm going to move on to now the bonus reading for my motivated and activated channel members. And for the rest of you, thank you so much for being here with me today, sending you so much love and blessings from my heart to yours. And until we connect again, take care.